Friday Night 360 AZ preview show. Higley Stasiak and Jordan Ham joined now by Higley quarterback Spencer Brash. Spencer, you've had an impressive start to the season, 686 yards, 12 touchdowns in these first two games. How significant is it to come out early and set the tempo for this team?
It's really significant because we came into this year, some of the kids on the team a lot of us are really new and young, so we had to come out strong. So that's one thing that our offense has been doing, and we've been out here just trying to get our points up and trying to keep us in games because our defense is a majority of them are really young, so we just have to show them how to play, and now they're starting to pick up on it. We're going to be a lot better in better times.
You've had two comeback wins to start this 2018 season. How important is it to go through those experiences against some tough opponents early to help you as you try to make that deep playoff push?
It's really important because last year we didn't really have that kind of experience. So when we did face adversity in that semifinal game against Saguaro, it was new to us, and we didn't know how to take it, how to handle it. So I'm glad that we got those out of the way this year. We started off with those two because that just makes our life a lot easier for when it comes down to deep in the playoffs, because we already know what it's like to be down and come back. We were down 13 and came back with less than 2 minutes left. So we know what it's like to do all that.
You've got quite a few playmakers on offense, including yourself, obviously, Coleman Owen, Jackson Gibbons, and just to name a couple in that receiving core. And you've got some guys that can run the ball. How big is it to have guys around you that you can rely on like that?
It's great to have that with any kind of player that I have, because if I can throw a 5-yard route and they can make a miss and they can turn it into a 40-yard touchdown, 4-yard play, like that's great to have, because then you can trust your players a lot more as is. And with our line blocking for us, if they get a good block for us and I can stay in the pocket and trust them that way, that's great. Or if I can hand the ball off to one of my running backs, they can run for a good 20, 30. Like, that's easy. That's great. With having trust with the other players brings a lot of team bonding, and it just makes it easier to play as a team.
Last year you rushed for nearly 900 yards. It seems like the approach this year is having you in the pocket more and kind of getting those passes to those playmakers. Was that a conscious change in your approach with Coach Zuby this year?
Not really. It's just kind of something that's happened in the first two games. We haven't really been able to pick up our run game. So that's with Drayson Hall being back there last year, it was a lot easier for myself to run just because of the fact that they had to key on Drayson, but also had to key on me. So it was just it's hard to get it started, but once we get it started, we should be fine. This game, we should start a lot more with that, and it should be a lot better. But it's just the fact of we not being able to start our run offense yet is what we need to pick up on. With the whole, it's pretty much a young line needing to pick up different players and learning how to do it. And young running backs, not really young, they're all seniors, but they all just are new to the position and haven't actually started on varsity. So it's a lot of different looks that we have to go through, and we're trying to put it all together, just a lot of young players pretty much.
When you look at where you're committed to now with Cal, Coach Regal has done just a great job recruiting the state of Arizona. Just what can you say about this group that's going to be coming to Cal next year, and how exciting is it to have multiple guys with you to experience this going from Arizona to Berkeley?
It's great. It's crazy how many that we have. We have about 7 now, but the class of 2019 that they've recruited, Cal's done a great job with it, in all, because I talked to all the commits that are there right now, that are going to leave early or that are going to stay and come up the same time as I am. We have a great class that's coming, and it's going to be a great, a really good class going through to that college. So football should be great for class 2019 out of Arizona and out of the nation as well.
Last season as a Knight, as you begin to reflect on this senior season, get things going here, what have you learned most about yourself as a player and as a person?
I realized that, I didn't really feel about it, but I see that my team looks up to me a lot more than I realized. And just in the past 2 games, that's really showed, because they've been looking to me to make a play happen if something's not going our way, so we can bring the vibe back up to our team. Or just last season, I didn't really feel like I was just kind of one of the younger guys. But at the end of the season, like, all the older guys were really counting on me to make plays. And so it's fun being in that position to be looked upon as, which some people could look like not like that, but I like that pressure being put on me. That's why I've been playing quarterback. So I just feel like that I have to play my best game every time and have everyone else rally behind me. And then with me playing a good game comes them too, because with my confidence, shedding that to everyone else, that they become confident, and as a team, we're confident to play any team that we want.
Really great stuff, Spencer. Thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the season.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Really good stuff from him. He's such an eloquent speaker.
Yeah.
Very mature.
Yeah, and he's a guy that, obviously we went through the numbers earlier, but he's just having a really good year.
And it's only 2 games in.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of playmakers on that offense.
Definitely
So it's going to be fun to watch them and see as they navigate. I thought he brought up a really good point in continuing to get the running game, and that
The youth on that, yeah.
a lot of these running backs have experience at the varsity level, but when you have Drayson Hall back there,
right,
he's going to take a ton of those snaps. So even a team as talented as Higley, they're still trying to iron out kind of the new look that they may have. But been an impressive couple of games for them. And you think back to last year, I know you were at that shootout with Saguaro, that Saguaro
really
pulled out
game.
in overtime. You go from that to Paraclete, where they opened the year, had a comeback win, and then they go up to NAU, play Horizon, have another comeback win. They've already been seasoned with a lot of really close games.
That adversity come back from it.
Yeah, so they made the jump up to 5A, going to be, in theory, a little bit more competitive than where they were last year in 4A in terms of the competition. But they already have experienced that, and I think that's going to be huge for them as they make that playoff push.
And the way he was talking about his team and his teammates in general, you can tell he knows these guys in and out.
Yeah.
Deeper than just the way they are on the field. And that point he made in that last part about just his team relying on him and looking up to him, and how even the seniors last year looked up to him because he was a quarterback and he was the guy to go to. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and you can see just a really big jump kind of across the board with the quarterbacks, but I've seen especially with Spencer going from year 1 to year 2, definitely has his feet under him, kind of knows what this is all about. He has his recruitment out of the way so he can focus on the season, and he's just got a ton of guys around him. So should be a fun game with Higley as they go to Tucson for Marana Mountain View.
What are you looking at with this one?
Obviously, how they bounce back. Higley bounces back on a short week. They played on Saturday. I think the game probably took a lot out of them. They have a day less to go ahead and prep. Yeah, so Marana Mountain View 0-1 on the year, but they're usually a pretty solid team, 7-4 last year. For Higley, they're going to need to go ahead and try to limit Varney Larson. He's a receiver, had a really good week 1, 8 receptions, 112 yards, and a touchdown, 14 yards per catch. So I think that's the guy they need to key in on. And then for Marana Mountain View, there's a lot of guys they need to key in on. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to kind of counteract that really high potent Higley offense.
Good stuff. When we come back, we're going to have the Las Vegas Review-Journal prep sports reporter Justin Emerson join us. He's going to break down that Bishop Gorman Centennial matchup. Keep it right here on the Friday Night 360 AZ Preview Show.